Hello, everyone. Um, Today I'm going to talk about the new crystal tech that was just recently released. So, my kingdom's about to go into KVK now, and we're probably going to have this new crystal tech. It's not confirmed yet, but here we have the simulator, the latest simulator showing us the new crystal tech. Since none of the kingdoms have yet seen the new crystal tech, it doesn't show you the prerequisites and also the season coins earned for the crystal tech. However, we're just here to give you a basic idea on what to invest on, what to go for on this new crystal tech. To start off with, you should definitely, like always, as you have done on the old crystal tech as well, work on your crystal research center because it reduces your crystal cost, overall crystal cost. And I would recommend getting this to level 25. If you're a mid spender, you should definitely get this to level 25. However, if you don't spend at all, maybe you shouldn't max this out right away because if you use all your crystal on this, you will not be able to you will not be able to work on any of the technology out here, and you will lose a lot of value on doing bastions and other quests. You would not be earning as much crystals on them. So if you don't have enough crystals to max this out, just go as far as you can without having to spend all your crystals, and whatever you have remaining, try to use them on some of the economy crystal technology that I'm about to show you right now. So let's say you already maxed your crystal research center, which is your number one priority. After that, you should go for the cutting corners, which reduces your crystal cost for all the technology. So you completed research center, it gives you 5%. Then you straight up go for cutting corners. You do not have to, as far as we know, the new technology makes it so you don't have to max out all of the unit type tags. You can only just focus on a singular unit type, which saves you up on a lot of crystal tech on crystals. So let's say I only want to go for inf. First of all, I'm not gonna max it out. I'm just gonna go for ones, just so I can move on to the next technology. Just keep going one, 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 and then once you get to the cutting corners, you max that out right away. You max the first one out, and then you look for the second one, cutting corners two. Go to cutting corners two as well, and try to max it out. The game probably will not let you max this out. There's probably a couple prerequisites. You probably will get the six or seven. Get to there, see the prerequisite. Some ask for a lot, like old technology asks you to max out call to arms and everything. It's if it is a lot, just keep it there and work on your other economy. If it doesn't ask for a lot, max it out right away. So in case it asks you to max out call to arms and everything, I would just keep it where it is, six or seven. Then work on your culture exchange, which is probably gonna be your prerequisite anyway for call to arms. Max out cultural exchange because it is one of the best crystal sources in this game. The Bastion quest, it's right now with this new technology, you don't only increase your crystals earned for doing each Bastion quest, but you also increase your favor, which means more favor, your Bastion levels are faster, and your mine produces more crystals because each Bastion level also gives you crystal tech research boost or crystal mining boost. Speaking of mining, it's outside the topic, but you should definitely also get the supply bundle, which gives you 50% boost to your crystal mining. So let's say you've maxed out culture exchange. What else do I go for? You should definitely go for barbarian bounties. It increases your damage to barbs, but also increases your crystals earned from the barbs. Great. If you love barbing and if you're not a high spender, this is one of the ways you can catch up with the mid spenders and high spenders. Just chaining barbs, constantly utilizing this technology. You max this out if you're into barbing and if you're willing to put in the effort. This is gonna get you a lot of crystals. You max this out, then you move down to Karaku reports. So with this used to not be as valuable because Karakus showed up far too late in the game into the KVK, which made it so all the fights were already over. But now they're gonna show up earlier, so you can actually invest in this technology. You can hold off on this until the first Karaku shows up, and then you start working on this before you do your Karaku, and then you put many points as possible under this. I would recommend just maxing it out. After you max it out, you do your Karaku. Karaku is going to give you a passive crystal income. It will add up. It's just like your mine. It's a separate mine that constantly produces passive crystal, which is very good. If you max this out, you're going to see the difference, huge difference. So yeah, let's say you max these three economy out, then do whatever you can do to max this crystal cutting corners. If you haven't already, max this out. Cutting corners too is very important. As I said, if you require tons of technology to max cutting corners too, get your economy to a mid-size, probably 10 out of 15. Culture exchange has to be max. It's awesome. Then max out cutting corners anyway. Okay, so cutting corners max, economies max. Then what you do is you move on to whatever you need. If you're a low spender with only one or two good marches, for example, you're only in player, I would recommend just focusing on whatever you're good at. Just put all your efforts into one unit type. Don't put any investments on the other technologies such as like sixth march. You don't need that. You're not a big player. But if you're a Veil and you have enough marches, definitely go for that. Runecraft summons a rune, which is a new technology. You don't have to go to the rune anymore. You can summon it, which is very good, but it's 3 million, so definitely not for somebody mid spender or small player. Too expensive. I would just recommend keep going. Go for healing cost here, which would reduces the amount of the cost of your healing. And what else? The health. Health is probably one of the most important specs. I would just, if you're an inf player, rush here, get that health bonus. But it's too expensive, so you're not going to be able to max it out. Just get it far as you can. Get as far as you can. Get this. This also reduces your healing cost, and this increase your auto health count. You can get this, but aside from these, you don't need these. These are veil stuff. Like this reduces all the damage you take from infantry, all the damage you take from archers, all the damage you take from cavalry. This is veil stuff. Like just get the basic stuff. If you're an archer player, max out all the archer tech before you go for any of the veil stuff. But so for example, you maxed out first archer tech, then go for some call to arms to make sure your army size is bigger because army size makes huge difference too. If you're playing with a single march, especially, you want that army to be strong as possible. So I'm an inf player. I'm gonna max out the inf tech here. I'm gonna put some into call to arms. I'm gonna max out the first one, max out the second one maybe halfway, unless cutting corners requires it. Then I'm gonna have to max it out anyway. If cutting corners requires it, just go ahead and max it and get cutting corners out of the way because as soon as you max cutting corners too, less you have to spend on other technology. Get that out of the way, and then you work on your other stuff. So I'm gonna go for other infantry too. I'm gonna max the infantry stuff again and again. I'm now with the new tech. Apparently, you can just ignore the other unit types. You can just focus on the one you want. So max out the technology for the unit type. Just max them out. Large camps is just increase the reinforcement capacity of your city. Useless to you. Just ignore that. Then you can go ahead and max out your unit type, more stuff for your unit type, and also focus on healing cost. And that's about it. Unless you're a Veil, you don't have to worry about anything aside from that. These are pretty good too, but like unless, like I said, you're a Giga Veil, 5 marches, you don't have to. But if you're a Veil, you definitely just max out everything except for the siege, unless you're running a siege march. And if you're not a rally player and just a field fighter, I would recommend you just max out everything as I described, except for the leadership. You don't touch leadership unless you're a rally lead. This is for rally lead mostly. You would definitely max call to arms first, which is very good for the veils. You max out, for example, you run 5 marches. You don't run siege. You max out all the technology for inf, archers, and cavalry. And you just keep going, unlock your 6 march if you have a 6 march and equipment and commanders and everything. If you don't have a commander and equipment, it's just a waste. You're just wasting extra resources. Get healing cost. Healing cost is priority for big whales, the field fighters. Healing cost, unlike the smaller players, you should get healing cost out of the way first. Because you're spending billions on the healing cost reduction, and then yeah, and then you max healing cost here as well, and then you can start working on these after you max out everything else. You can start working on these, and if you want to go even further, and if you're a Giga whale who wants to swarm flags, you go for this 100%. This makes it so you do more damage to the flags. And that's about it for this technology. Thanks for listening.